Well, Rachel was desperate to play Eva Perón. You know, it was her idea, and we saw an audition tape, and she was absolutely sensational.
She was supposed to be the next Disney queen, but now she's dodging scandals like they're poison apples. From a $300 million flop to being blasted by Madonna and allegedly shaded by Gal Gadot, Rachel Zegler's Hollywood fairy tale has taken a wild, messy turn. She didn't just lose fans. She might have just made two of the most powerful women in entertainment quietly furious. And now, she's stepping into Madonna's most iconic role. Without even saying thank you, there's a fine line between Hollywood princess and public enemy. And Rachel Zegler just swan-dove straight off it. 1 year ago, she was Disney's Golden Girl. Today, she's the face of a $300 million implosion, the daily target of Reddit's nastiest meme factory, and oh yeah, the woman daring to swipe Madonna's crown as Eva Perón. Is this a bold comeback or a full-blown career meltdown in real time? Because here's the thing, Snow White may have been cursed in the fairy tale, but in this version,
a series of controversies is threatening to derail the opening of Disney's latest big-budget blockbuster. I'm talking about the live-action remake of Snow White, which will be out next week.
Rachel may have grabbed the poison apple all on her own. And now, with Madonna reportedly sharpening her claws and Gal Gadot going radio silent, the stakes couldn't be higher. One wrong note, one bad review, and the West End might just boo its newest leading lady right off the balcony. Stick around, because this isn't just celebrity drama. It's the kind of career chaos that even Disney couldn't script. Disney thought they were printing gold with their live-action Snow White. Big names, big budget, big legacy. But instead, they got one of the most talked-about flops in recent memory. With a reported $270 to $300 million budget and box office earnings barely crossing the $100 million mark, Snow White wasn't just a financial failure. It became a cultural punchline, a cautionary tale, a meme magnet. And right at the center of it all, Rachel Zegler. It started with interviews, harmless promo stuff, until it wasn't. Rachel openly mocked the original 1937 film, called the prince a stalker, and doubled down on how her Snow White didn't need love or saving. Her words sparked immediate backlash. Clips of her interviews flooded TikTok, stitched with
Our fans are growing more concerned about Disney's new Snow White remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney.
Furious reactions from fans and critics alike. Some accused her of rewriting a beloved classic just to sound woke. Others said she came off smug, disconnected, or worse, ungrateful. Then came the tweets. At first, she celebrated the trailer's massive success, over 120 million views in 24 hours. But almost immediately after, she posted, "And always remember, free Palestine." That timing hit like a lightning bolt. To some, it was a bold stand. To others, a direct shot at her Israeli co-star Gal Gadot, who has publicly supported her home country during ongoing conflict. Whether intentional or not, it blew up overnight, dividing fans and sparking boycotts from both political sides. And just like that, Rachel wasn't just a Disney lead anymore. She was the lightning rod. For every fan defending her outspokenness, a dozen others were calling her the face of what's wrong with Hollywood. Disney went into full panic mode. The film's premiere was scaled back to a quiet event in a remote Spanish castle, far from the LA spotlight. Red carpets were shortened, interviews were slashed.
There's more. There's always more. Let's have a listen.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story.
And her co-stars, strangely quiet. Even the studio's own PR team couldn't figure out how to contain the narrative. Suddenly, Snow White wasn't a nostalgic reimagining. It was a disaster that symbolized everything from media overreach to Hollywood's political minefield. And Rachel Zegler, once handpicked to lead the revival of a Disney legacy, was now being called the downfall of one. But if Disney was washing its hands clean, Rachel had other plans, and her next move was even more controversial. So, what do you do when your name is trending for all the wrong reasons? When your Disney era ends in smoke and the internet starts labeling you unhireable? If you're Rachel Zegler, you don't lay low. You book a role so bold, so iconic, that the entire industry is forced to pay attention again. Enter EVITA. In a move that shocked both Broadway fans and celebrity gossip circles, it was announced that Rachel would star as Eva Perón in a highly anticipated West End revival of EVITA.
Yeah, well, we're busy, of course. EVITA opens at the Palladium this summer, so we're collaborating with Jamie Lloyd again following Sunset Boulevard.
Directed by the boundary-pushing Jamie Lloyd. Previews start June 14th, with the official opening set for July 1st at the London Palladium, and already ticket sales are heating up. For Rachel, this isn't just a role, it's a lifeline, a chance to go from meme to marquee, from internet punching bag to theater elite. In the announcement, she shared a sweet memory, how she and her dad used to sing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" on the back patio. She called it a full circle moment, a dream come true. But here's where things took a sharp left turn. Nowhere in her statement, not once, did she mention Madonna. You know, the woman who made Eva Perón a pop culture icon in the 1996 film. The woman who trained for months, fought tooth and nail for the role, and won a Golden Globe for her performance. That Madonna. It didn't take long for people to notice. Not fans, not Reddit, and definitely not Madonna herself.
There were reportedly not even going to be dwarfs either. Rainbow people instead. I thought it was a fan protest. And even the word dwarfs isn't mentioned in this remake. The film has people saying, don't mock sleepy as a neurological condition. And dopey, is it really dopey? That'd be rude.
Rachel's casting had barely made headlines before whispers started swirling. Was this an innocent oversight or deliberate shade? And if it was shade, she picked the wrong icon to mess with. You know how some celebrities clap back with a tweet or a statement? Not Madonna. When she's mad, she gets quiet. And when Madonna gets quiet, that's when you should worry. Because behind the glitter and Grammys, the Material Girl takes her legacy seriously, especially EVITA. Back in the 90s, Madonna didn't just land the role of Eva Perón, she fought for it. She wrote a 4-page letter to director Alan Parker, flew to Buenos Aires to walk in Eva's footsteps, trained vocally to unlock a register she didn't even know she had, and delivered a performance that earned her a Golden Globe for Best Actress. That wasn't just a movie role, it was her passion project, her reinvention. She's even gone on record saying, "I am more proud of EVITA than anything else I've done." So when Rachel Zegler announced she'd be playing the same role, without even acknowledging Madonna's legacy, yeah, the silence was deafening. According to insider reports, Madonna felt slighted. Not outraged, not insulted, slighted. And in Madonna's world, that's code for, you just disrespected a cultural monument, and fans picked up on it fast. Comment sections exploded. You're stepping into her shoes and didn't even say her name. No shout out, no credit. Girl, are you okay? To them, Rachel wasn't just skipping a thank you, she was acting like Madonna's EVITA never existed. And if you think Madonna's going to let that slide,
Peter Dinklage questioned why the story even included the characters at all.
They're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs.
Sure.
So, look, take a step back and look at what you're doing.
think again. People close to her say she's keeping tabs, watching, waiting. Because when you take the crown without asking the queen, there's always a price. But just when the Madonna drama started boiling, another storm was quietly brewing from someone who used to share the same stage. Before the headlines screamed Zegler versus Madonna, there was another name floating around for EVITA, and it wasn't just any name. Ariana DeBose, Rachel's West Side Story co-star. The same Ariana who won an Oscar went viral for her chaotic but unforgettable Angela Bassett did the thing BAFTA rap, and became a favorite of both Broadway insiders and internet stans. For months, there were whispers that Ariana was in talks for EVITA, and when the role went to Rachel instead, let's just say the internet had opinions. Reddit lit up like a bonfire. Ariana is Latina, queer, an incredible live performer. What more does she need to do? Rachel's voice is great, but Ariana has the gravitas. Hollywood is trolling us at this point. Fan pages started side-by-side comparisons, vocal range, stage presence, performance clips, the verdict from a large chunk of the internet. Rachel's casting felt like another case of Hollywood privilege, and the shade wasn't subtle. Even outside the fan bubble, theater Twitter was raising eyebrows. Rachel had just come off a brutal PR stretch with Snow White, while Ariana was still riding high on critical acclaim.
You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it, the disability, like we're a disability group, you just erased that whole image.
So why hand the role of Eva Perón, one of the most emotionally complex characters in modern musical theater, to someone whose acting chops were being questioned nonstop? The tension between Rachel and Ariana has never been public. No interviews, no drama, but ever since West Side Story, fans have speculated there's distance. And EVITA just poured gasoline on that fire. Because it's one thing to land a controversial role, it's another to take it from someone many believe deserved it more. And speaking of awkward co-stars, the next name on Rachel's stress list was about to cast an even bigger shadow. As if the Madonna shade and Ariana fan wars weren't enough, Rachel Zegler found herself tangled in yet another quiet but seriously icy feud, this time with none other than Gal Gadot. You'd think playing Snow White and the Evil Queen together would make them instant press tour besties, right? But what started as red carpet smiles quickly turned into suspicious silence. It all went down in August 2024, right after the Snow White trailer dropped and racked up a jaw-dropping 120 million views. Rachel was on a high. She thanked fans, tweeted a sweet little "love you all," and then immediately followed it up with, "And always remember, free Palestine." Now, let's pause for context. Gal Gadot is Israeli. She's not just from there, she's vocally supportive of her government and served in the IDF. She's also been very public with her stance on the Israel-Palestine conflict. So, when Rachel tweeted that right after celebrating their shared film's success, people noticed. The internet exploded with speculation. Was it shade? Was it activism? Was it both? Gal didn't respond directly. She never does. But she did repost a quote from Martin Luther King Jr.
While we're on the subject of actresses and awards and hacks, do we have a moment for Rachel Zegler and Snow White? Because there is an update.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. It was cryptic, classy, and calm, but fans instantly read it as a subtweet with a side of steel. A few days later, another post surfaced from Gal's account, reportedly dragging people who disrespected their co-stars to score social points. That post vanished, deleted almost as fast as it appeared. And suddenly, all those cute press tour moments between Rachel and Gal, gone. Award shows, seated far apart, premiere events, minimal interaction. Disney, scrambling to control the narrative. Insiders said the Mouse House was so stressed, they practically bubble-wrapped the Snow White premiere. No open press, limited photography, carefully staged photo ops. Why? Because nobody wanted another viral moment, or worse, a red carpet showdown, and the timing couldn't have been worse. On one side, pro-Palestinian groups were calling for a boycott. On the other, pro-Israel fans were furious at the perceived jab toward Gal. And in the middle, a billion-dollar studio watching its modern fairy tale turn into a political minefield. But if you thought things couldn't get weirder, the internet's most unhinged Rachel Zegler moment was just around the corner. Just when everyone thought the Snow White saga had hit its peak, Rachel Zegler dropped a video that had the entire internet doing a double take. Picture this: an empty theater, dim lights, no audience, just Rachel slowly walking through the rows before suddenly breaking into uncontrollable laughter. Loud, manic, unfiltered. No caption, no explanation. Just chaos. It hit social media like a wrecking ball. Within hours, Twitter was flooded with reactions. Some thought it was a joke. Others were genuinely concerned. A few even asked, "Is she okay? Is this a breakdown or a bit? Joker arc unlocked?" The memes came in hot. The edits were brutal. And the narrative, once again, out of Rachel's hands. Was it performance art? A statement about cancel culture?
Day, there was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece. Was it Variety? Talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now.
A moment of exhaustion turned viral content? Nobody knew. But one thing was clear. People couldn't look away. As the clip kept racking up views, Rachel responded. Not with an apology or an explanation, but with a poetic monologue referencing the winged victory of Samothrace, the famous statue in the Louvre. The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. I can only hope that despite my flaws, my cracks, and my breaks, I'll still be worth seeing too. It was raw. It was dramatic. It was Rachel saying, "I may be broken, but I'm still here." And depending on who you ask, It was either a powerful metaphor for resilience, or yet another moment of self-indulgence from someone who just doesn't know when to stop posting. Regardless, one thing was certain: Rachel wasn't retreating. She was leaning in, owning the chaos, embracing the backlash, and walking straight into her next act. But could that next act, the role of EVITA, actually save her? Or would it be the final curtain call on a career that started with so much promise? London's Palladium Theatre is no joke. It's historic. It's high profile, and for 12 intense weeks, it's going to be Rachel Zegler's stage. Whether she owns it or gets eaten alive by critics is still anyone's guess. This isn't just another role. This is Eva Perón, the most iconic, controversial, and emotionally complex figure in musical theater. A role dripping with legacy, power, politics, and pressure. And now, that crown is sitting squarely on Rachel's head. But here's the twist. Rachel isn't just fighting to impress an audience. She's going head-to-head with a ghost, and that ghost is Madonna. Madonna's EVITA isn't just remembered, it's etched in pop culture history. Every note, every gesture, every balcony pose, fans know it by heart. Critics still quote it. And now, Rachel has to live up to that, all while carrying the weight of a billion internet opinions, a crumbling Disney fallout, and a legacy she didn't even acknowledge when she got the role. No pressure. Theater Twitter is bracing like it's opening night for Hamilton again. Critics are sharpening their pens, Reddit is prepped to explode. And behind the scenes, producers are reportedly calling ticket sales robust but volatile. Translation: people are showing up, but many just want to watch the crash. If Rachel delivers a knockout performance, she rewrites the narrative in one night. All the backlash, the memes, the drama, it fades. She becomes the comeback queen. But if she flops, if the reviews are lukewarm, or worse, brutal, that EVITA balcony might become a trapdoor. And let's not forget the wild card, Madonna. She hasn't publicly commented, but rumor has it she's watching closely. Some insiders even hinted she might show up. Whether it's front row or from afar, that silent side-eye is still looming, and it only takes one shady Instagram story to blow up the press cycle all over again. So the question isn't just, will Rachel nail the role? It's, can she survive it? So here we are, Rachel Zegler, once the golden girl of Hollywood, now standing on the edge of her most defining moment yet. She's no longer just Snow White. She's the lightning rod, the controversy magnet, the underdog, and the villain, all in one. She's facing quiet shade from Gal Gadot, cold silence from Madonna, and loud skepticism from the internet's toughest crowds. And yet, she's still stepping into that spotlight. Still showing up, still betting everything on EVITA. If she delivers the performance of her life, she silences the critics, reclaims her career, and maybe, just maybe, proves that the biggest comebacks come after the hardest falls. But if it tanks, then EVITA won't be her redemption arc. It'll be the final act in a Hollywood tragedy, one where the crown didn't just slip, it shattered. So what do you think? Is Rachel Zegler misunderstood and unfairly targeted? Or has she burned too many bridges to walk across the West End stage without backlash? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Team comeback or team collapse? And hey, if you love behind-the-scenes drama, real-time career meltdowns, and the wildest twists in celebrity culture, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell faster than Rachel can trend on Twitter. Because trust us, the show's just getting started.